Okay, now substitution and income effects in case of perfect substitutes. Okay, so we're assuming this, that we have this utility function, which is this u is equal to x1 plus x2. This is the case of perfect substitutes, as you guys know from the earlier recordings. And suppose your price vector is 2, 1 and income is 10. Okay, so your budget line would be 2x1 plus x2 equals to 10. This would be your budget line. Okay, given these are the prices and this is your income. So in that case, when your budget line is say 2x1 plus x2 equals to 10. Okay, in that case, in case if x1 is 0, x2 is 10. When x2 is 0, x1 is 5. Fine. So I'm just, so x1 is 0, x2 is 10. Okay, this point here, say 10, and in case if x2 is 0, x1 is 5. Okay, so let me just connect these 2 points like this. So this is your budget line. Clear? Now what is so as you guys could see, the slope of the budget line in this case is minus the coefficient of x1 upon coefficient of x2, which is minus 2. Okay, and the slope of the indifference curve is 1. Okay, so which is minus the coefficient of x1 upon coefficient of x2, which is minus 1. So how will your indifference curve look like? I think in case if I have 5 intercept here, and I make it 10 here, this way. Okay, so this is my first indifference curve. This is x1 plus x2, okay, with slope of minus 1. And this is my second indifference curve. Clear? Let me just put these numbers here. Okay, now with the same budget, okay, with the same budget, I can be at a lower indifference curve, or even I could be at a higher indifference curve, such as this. See, this is let me just put it like IC naught, and this is IC1 with the same budget. Okay, with the same budget, I can even draw many indifference curve. I can start from this point and I can go up to like this, and so on. So the maximum indifference curve which I can achieve is this. Okay, this IC1 indifference curve, and it is touching the budget line at this point. So this is my consumption point. Say this is E1, and I'm consuming only X2. Okay, and it should be very intuitive to me, because the price of for X2 is lower here, 2, 1. So I'll be buying only X2. I won't be buying anything of X1, because this is the case of perfect substitutes. Clear? Okay, now so far so good. Now let me just again draw this, and let me tell you the another case. So this is the first case. This is the case of the initial consumption bundle. Okay, so we started with this. Okay, this was our initial budget line, 10.5. Clear? And this was basically our initial, this was our initial bundle. Clear? Now suppose your budget line changes. Why? Because price of good 1 has fallen. Price of good 1 has fallen from 2 to 1.5. Clear? So price of good 1 has fallen to 2 to 1.5. So my budget line would become, that is, price as good 1 is now 3 by 2, price of good 2 is 1, and income is 10. So this is 3 by 2 x1 plus x2 equals to 10. So it could be written as 3x1 plus 2x2 equals to 20. 3x1 plus 2x2 equals to 20. So in case if x1 is 0, x2 is 10, x2 is 0, x1 is 6.6 or something. Clear? So how do we plot this? let me just plot this. Your initial intercept is same, your x2 intercept is same, okay, 0, 10, but this has changed to this thing. It is 6.6 now. Okay, so let me just change this here. Okay, let me just change this here to this point, and this is your 6.6. Clear? Now the slope of this green line is basically your indifference curve. Okay, so it has a slope of 1 only. So in case if you want to look at what could be the highest indifference curve I can reach with the blue budget line, I think it's the same one. Okay, that is going to be the same one, because see, this is the minimum indifference curve I can reach with the blue budget line, and your initial indifference curve is also the final indifference curve which I can reach with the blue budget line. So I will not be changing my pattern of consumption. I will still be at point E1. Okay, there will be no substitution. No substitution in this case. There has been no substitution. You were consuming x2, you are still consuming all of x2. It is also, you could see from here, the price of x2 is lower than the price of x1. Okay, so you will still consume x2. There is no substitution which has happened. Clear? So, and what about here? Okay, what about here? And the entire effect, whatever it would be basically because of the income effect in this case. Now, in this case, say for example, remember this, that you are consuming, okay, you were consuming at x2 at this point where you're consuming only x2. Okay, so let me just draw this budget line. Now suppose price of 1 has fallen to 1/2 and price of x2 is 1. So which is a cheaper commodity now? First one is a cheaper commodity. Now I guess there would be some substitution. Let me draw the budget line first. Your budget line is 1/2 x1 plus x2 equals to 10. So it is basically x1 plus 2x2 equals to 10. Let me bring some other ink. Yeah, so in case if x1 is 0, x2, sorry, this is 20, it should be 10, I'm sorry, and in case if x2 is 0, x1 is 20. Okay, so one point is basically 10 here, and this would be say 20 point. Okay, so this is your budget line. This is your budget line, and your indifference curves, okay, which we have assumed that they were shown by green. Indifference curve will have the slope of -1, so it is say 10, 10 here. So this is the minimum indifference curve I can reach, and with this budget line, and this is the maximum indifference curve I can reach here. Okay, this is the maximum indifference curve I can ever reach with this budget line. So with the same budget, in case if I can move to a higher indifference curve, I will. So when I was consuming at this point, now I will straight away substitute towards this point, and I'll start consuming here. Okay, and this is also easily seen here because price of 1 is now lesser than the price of 2. So 1/2, since it is lesser than 1, you'll be consuming only x1. You won't be consuming x2. Okay, so this is pure substitution effect in this case. So the entire effect of price change is basically your substitution effect in this case. Okay, so in case of the question comes, in case of perfect substitutes, the entire effect is substitution effect. You don't have to you just don't have to conclude it so easily. You will have to think about it, that actually, has it happened that the price of other good has fallen too much for substitution to take place? In case if it is, then yes, it is purely substitution effect. Otherwise, there is no substitution effect in this case. So don't think that these two are substitute goods. So the whatever effect it will be there will be only substitution effect. No, it is not that case. Okay. Well, as you could see in other recording, in case of perfect complements, there can't be any substitution. So substitution effect is always 0 in case of perfect complements. But here, even in perfect substitutes, in the case which I have shown initially, there could be the case where there is no substitution effect at all. Okay.